Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, we're happy to have all of you join the Sanad Prep Morning Assembly with our students and our staff and some of our families. And inshallah, we'll begin with our intention, the intention of Imam al-Haddad that we make every day in the morning here at Sanad Prep. We ask you, inshallah, to join us as well. And it's an intention for seeking knowledge and being benefited by that knowledge and being of benefit for that knowledge. So inshallah, we'll begin with that. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. نويت تعلم وتعليم وتذكر وتذكير ونفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على تمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم والدعاء إلى الهدى والدلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. So we begin in the name of Allah. We praise Allah and we send our salawat upon the Prophet, peace be upon him. And then we intend to learn and to teach, to remember and to remind, to benefit and to benefit others, to serve and to be served, to encourage observance of the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of His Messenger, to call towards guidance, to direct towards the good, to seek the countenance of Allah, His satisfaction, His closeness, and His reward. And Allah is the most exalted, the most high. So alhamdulillah, we've been reminding our students and our staff and ourselves about some important things this week that I thought it would be of benefit to share as a reminder to other Muslim students out there and their families and just communities in general, as a reminder and as an upliftment as well. And that is that we have to, mashallah, as we approach the end of this calendar year, is a good opportunity for us to look back and look at this extraordinary year that we've just been through, and also understand and appreciate and be in awe of the grandeur and the mightiness and the power and the intimate connection that each creation of Allah, from viruses to humans and mountains and their environment, that connection that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has with all of us as His creation, but also, look at the ability and the resiliency of humanity as well, to face challenges, inshallah, to understand them and to learn from them and to grow and adapt, and show their mettle and their resiliency, in particular, especially when they come together for the sake of Allah, and try to preserve their identity, their character and their qualities, in spite of duress and stress and circumstances. That's just a really beautiful thing. And we've been reminding our students about how much of that they've been able to do, this, towards closing the last academic year and then finishing up this kind of first half of the academic year this year. They really deserve a lot of credit, and I don't believe just them alone, but their teachers and their staff, the staff that we have here, but the families that are connected to Sanad Prep Learning Center as well. And then really, by extension, that appreciation should be extended to all, young Muslim students out there, wherever they may be studying, and to be quite frank, with so many young people, regardless of faith, what they've been able to accomplish in terms of these circumstances. I don't know if they've ever happened in people's lifetime. So those of us who have kind of matriculated and completed our academic studies, what the students that are doing in this day and age, in particular this year, is just really extraordinary. They deserve a lot of credit, as do their teachers and their families and the communities that support them as well, and their elders as well. But there's something really special about the faith-based student, and what we call here at Sanad Prep, the soul-centered student. For them to do all of their academic studies and study the sciences of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from math and history and English and beyond, and then as a priority continue to pursue their sacred science studies and growth and development, it just is something that leaves someone speechless if they think about it genuinely. And one of the things that we try to do here, and we may not always do it well, but we try to, with sincerity, remind students of their value. And um, I think that this is an important point to make to other families and other communities and other schools as well. We need to remind our young Muslim students about their extraordinary value, because in so many ways they're doing the work that the prophets have expected us as humanity to do, and they're doing it more than many other people in our ummah. Meaning that not only are they learning about Allah's creation and Allah's world, but certainly at a place like Sanad Prep, and I imagine others as well, they're also learning about their faith. And if they're learning about it well, inshallah, with empathy and with sincerity and with context, then this is the work that has been expected of us since the passing of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and is expected of us from all of the reminders we hear and read about throughout the Quran as well. So the fact that they're learning their fiqh, the fact that they're learning the principles or their articles of faith, the fact that they're learning the Quran, its proper recitation, and preserving that on behalf of the ummah, in addition to, like I said, their math. And here at Sanad, mashallah, we have many students taking advanced placement courses and honors courses, doing that, side by side, within the context of this extraordinary 2020 year, mashallah. So that's the outward, praise or congratulations and appreciation that I wanted to offer. But there's another side of this that requires us to show appreciation and gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. And it's one of the things that we reminded our high school students about yesterday as we completed the section on the Shama'il that we completed at the end of this first semester. And what we reminded them about, and we're reminding the rest of our students today about, the younger students and others who may be watching, is that, the fact that Allah has allowed you to study His sacred sciences in the midst of this pandemic and all of the other circumstances of really kind of up and down, volatile political season, and other things that have happened around the world that have caught our attention, from forest fires and other kind of circumstances that people have been dealing with. The fact that you've been able to study the qualities and the character of the Prophet, peace be upon him, it's by the permission of Allah. Allah allows us to come into kind of the domain and the study and the company and the suhbah of His beloved, His most beloved creation, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So, being given permission to do that every week, and to be able to do that where you complete half of a book of that study, it's by invitation. It's not just by turning on the computer and the internet and connecting to, Ustad Orhan and the other sacred science learning coaches. It's by the permission of Allah that He has allowed us to do that in safety and security and in good health, alhamdulillah. So there's extraordinary appreciation and gratitude that needs to be shown to God for that permission, right? And then secondarily, once that's done, just understanding the value, intrinsically understanding the value of what that permission has allowed you to do. So in the study of the Shama'il, for example, yesterday we mentioned that you really know what Allah has given you permission to do, because it's one thing to understand that and appreciate and show gratitude for that, but what are you showing gratitude for? With the study of the Shema, the metaphor that we use was that it's as though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed you to climb and be at this mountain peak, studying the best of His creation, and you've been given permission to study, an exalted and elevated character, and you are in that realm. So you can understand it like that. And so then you show gratitude for that permission to study, and then you show gratitude for where you're standing, for the value of what you've been able to do. But it's something altogether if you think that Allah has just given you permission to go for a walk, right? And you're just on flat ground. and you don't even realize that, actually, no, Allah's giving you permission to be standing on the top of a mountain right now. So it really requires, not just shukr, but a true understanding and awareness of the value of what that permission has allowed you to do. And so that requires, people around you to really recognize that if you're having a hard time, and really letting you know. And whether that's a parent or a teacher, or a learning center or a school, I hope that, for all the, if there are any young people listening outside of our Sanad Prep students, that the value of that. And if you're having a hard time figuring that out, that the people around you are letting you know. And that's what their responsibility is. It's to let you know how valuable you are and how valuable what you're doing is. And that's our role, and that's the role of educators around the world, and parents and families as well. So on behalf of all of them, again, much credit and much respect to you. And we want to just encourage you and remind you to show gratitude to Allah, and really appreciate the value of what His permission has allowed you to do, inshallah. And as we enter these kind of the winter break for many students in North America and here at Sanad Prep, it's a great opportunity to de-stress. I think that so many of us have been under stress for so long now, nearly a year, if we think back to March, and we become just accustomed, including young people who are looking at their parents and or their schools or their teachers, and know that things have changed dramatically. We've just gotten used to it, everything, right? Like this kind of new normal. Well, we don't want the stress of all of this to be the new normal. Maybe we've learned a lot of new things and we're doing things better. That's all fine. Let's keep all of that. But the stress, let's try to begin the process of de-escalating that and bringing that down. And I think the winter break is a good opportunity to do that. Inshallah, there's this light at the end of the tunnel, and by the permission of Allah, and we can look towards learning and benefiting from the things that have benefited us, and then maybe letting go and de-escalating, and reducing the stress of the things that have maybe not benefited us. So to the young people and to your families and educators out there, let's use the winter break, all of us, I think, collectively, to do that, and inshallah come back after the winter break with clarity, and with a little bit of a lighter load on us emotionally and in terms of our stress. However, with new tools that we've learned, of resiliency and of creativity, and using technology and other things to really meet our objectives. Let's re-energize and grow and build upon those things, and inshallah come with a renewed spirit, inshallah, after the winter break. I pray that everyone remains safe over their break that they have, and that Allah keep all of your families safe and your elders safe. And if you've been dealing with any difficulty or hardship, or perhaps a loved one who has been struggling with their health or whatnot, that Allah, if Allah has not been able to show you their shifa and their healing, that He show you and give you certainty in their forgiveness and their maqam in the akhirah, inshallah. And we just pray that Allah accept all of your good work and your good efforts, and put barakah and reward in all of your efforts for this past year, and put even more than what you can imagine in your efforts in the 2021, inshallah. And just a reminder to remain connected to the prophetic calendar and days and times, as well, as we enter this month. We entered the month of Jumada al-Awwal, and the 1442 year after Hijrah. Just keep in mind to remain connected to the Prophet ﷺ and his life and his history, as well, as we kind of chart our own course and make our own history next year as well. So may Allah give tawfiq to all of the students, to all of the families, to all of the educators, to all of the schools, and all of the people who are, kind of holding it down and grinding on the front lines of the dawah and education. May Allah give you all tawfiq and accept from you. To our students, inshallah, I'll see you a little bit later. To everyone else, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. There's a website up here that we humbly ask for your support on this Friday and every day throughout this December month to support the foundation's fund of Sana Trust Foundation. So I would be remiss if I didn't remind myself to ask the community for your support on behalf of these students that we talk to and we educate, and their families, and our community and every community as well. So inshallah, sanatrust.org/foundations is the website. We ask for your humble support in these last few days of 2020, inshallah. Allah give you tawfiq and put barakah in your intention. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.